Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very happy Tuesday to you. That is right, April the 5th, as we are cruising along here, getting ready for what is going to be a epic dash to the finish line here in the NBA regular season. This is it. Final week ends on Sunday. Still, some things to be determined between now and then. The night off in the association last night, so we could all take part in North Carolina and Kansas, but they are back at it tonight on the hardwood big time. 12 games, guys. And, of course, we got a few of them to break down for you with the OG crew here today on a Tuesday. The original NBA tip-off show gang is here with Ski Profit up in top. We got the Finn, Mr. Finn, Tony Finn in the house in the middle. Just finished counting all that money on that Kansas future he bet there 6 months ago. And, of course, Rob Vino, straight from Highlight, got his bets in. He is ready to go here tonight, guys. Plenty of action, Ski. It was nice having a little nice off from the, a little reprieve from the NBA yesterday. But now I know you've been handicapping since about 3 a.m, dude. So talk to me. What do you got tonight for us?
Well, so far, I don't know about 3 a.m, but so far, I've made 6 plays in the association. Like you mentioned, we didn't have anything to play yesterday. I think my last 600 and maybe around 680 plays, I should be around 56%. So try to keep that going. And something I found out yesterday that I can mention, I did pretty well last year in playoff totals. I think I was number 1 at WagerTalk. I was 25-11, 69.4%. So we're getting close to playoff time. I'm going to focus on those totals, and we'll talk about some ways to make some money today.
Boom! Yes, you were crushing it last playoffs. We remember that. And Tony Finn been crushing it all year long in the association, my man. College hoops behind us. So what have you prepared for us tonight on the card at WagerTalk?
I have 3. I've taken 3 positions on games, in game props, which means sides, totals, et cetera. And I have two player props, so 5 total plays in the NBA. And I'm going to pass on the college basketball.
Oh, okay. You're going to move on. Okay, that's good stuff. I don't blame you. I can't wait to hear these props, Vino. Should be great. What are you doing, Robbie? What's going on, man? No more college hoops. So now we get ready, of course, for the MLB this week, but still some unfinished business here in the association. What do you got locked and loaded for us?
Yeah, first thing is you can find me playoff season copying all the Ski's totals so I can make sure I win too. And
damn right.
Tony Finn, that was a lucky win by Kansas last night, no, Tom?
Oh,
it wasn't a win for me. I mean, I laid the 4. So I mean, I thought that was a game where, if Harris takes that ball, he's going to get fouled. I think at worst case, I push. He hits one of the 2 free throws, hits both. I probably cover. But I've had a lot of those. So you're supposed to avoid games like that, right, guys? You're supposed to.
He's so full of shit. Shut your ass. Are you kidding me? The dude had like a 30-1 future on Kansas, and I laid the 4. I laid the. Shut.
I laid the 4.
Mute his ass, Robin. I'm tired of him. Talk to me, Dino.
Listen, it wasn't 30-1. I don't think KU was ever 30-1.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, that's well. All right. Listen, I'm sorry, Joe. I derailed the show.
No, that's good.
Up and available right now. WagerTalk.com. I have 3 plays, game plays, sides or totals, and I don't know. I mean, if following that, Fife playing or Pied Piper playing a Vandy Langen, getting involved in these player props. I have 3 of those up and available as well.
Ooh.
All plays up right now. WagerTalk.com. 3 are 4% best bets. So let's. It's a big card, guys. We could certainly find some ways to capitalize here.
Damn straight. All right. Look at that. Vino dabbling. Player props across the board. Best bets are locked and loaded, guys, for these gentlemen at WagerTalk.com. Let's head to our contrarian play of the day with the contrarian gods. Well, I'm going to go and take a look here at the Chicago Bulls tonight. And what a jump this was. Opened up around 3.5, and just went, phew, right the other way, 6.5. And listen, we all know Chicago, oof, boy, hadn't been great, guys. Not at all. Not because they can't score, it's because they can't play any defense. But how many more times do we have to see an inconsistent Milwaukee Bucks team? Do they play defense or do they not play defense? How hard are they going to try? Are they going to score it all in the first or all in the second? So the contrarian gods are done trying to back the Milwaukee Bucks here in this kind of spot on the road. So, Ski, can I introduce you and offer you a little bull sandwich here at plus 6.5?
Yeah, I'll tell you right away. I'm not going to be putting my money on this game. This is interesting to me when I look at my numbers. Like, it tells me last 5 game stats, the Bulls have been better offensive rated team, defensive rated team, and the Bucks have been better on the boards. But I just feel like the Bucks been playing a lot better basketball than the Bulls. I think I saw Levine is going to be out for this game as well, and neither team is really good versus competition. But the Bulls are just a lot worse. The last time they beat a good team. And when I say a good team, I mean somebody with a win percentage higher than 60. That was December 4th of last year. They don't beat good teams. So It's tough. I get this is a spot where, they need to win, I think, to clinch something for the playoffs, or they need the Cavaliers to lose, something like that. So I know they'll play hard. They'll bring effort. I just don't want my money on it. So gun to my head, if I have to make a play here, I'll probably play the other side just because I'm not a big believer in Bulls versus good teams.
Not a Bulls believer. How about you, Tony Finn? The Milwaukee Bucks? Boy, oh boy, the market certainly thinks they're the right side. What about you?
Yeah, well, if you believe history repeats itself, if you believe that a team that beats another team in conference and they do actually play 4 times against each other, yeah. Giannis is 30-15, averaging 30-15 against this Bulls team that isn't right without ball at the point. They're not near the defensive team they were early in the season. Some of those numbers were skewed. Anyway, listen, 3-0, straight up 3-0 against the spread. Have a net. Milwaukee has a net of almost 13 against Chicago. 113.4, I believe, is their offensive rating against Chicago. Tough for me to play Chicago, too. I agree with Ski.
Well, I guess, Rob, you tell us, which Milwaukee Bucks team shows up tonight on the road in Chicago? Because I'm done trying to figure it out here. Milwaukee at home is one thing. Milwaukee on the road in a favorite spot that's getting steamed up. Ugh. What do you think here, Bino? You with the contrarian gods, or are you going to back the market and go with Milwaukee?
Yeah, well, we know that the steam has nothing to do with money thinking that Milwaukee's better than Chicago. The steam is all because Zach LaVine is unlikely to play in this game. And that started this morning. I mean, early this morning here, Eastern time, that thing was like 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5 before anything was even written about LaVine. So somebody knew ahead of time that this was probably going to happen. I think that, off of the loss to Dallas on Sunday at home by Milwaukee, and that came on the heels of a game where they gave up 153 to the Clippers, a night where the Bucks rested everybody, right? That was a game where the Clippers rested their guys, the Bucks rested their guys, they rolled the balls out, they totaled 270 points. Bucks came back rested for a Sunday afternoon national televised game and get beat on their home floor by Luka and the Mavs. I think they probably answer to that here tonight. These teams have played 3 times. I was lucky enough a couple of weeks ago on a $2 Tuesday. I had the Bucks against these same Bulls. They played this game a couple of weeks ago, and they destroyed Chicago. That game, like 2 of the 3 played between them this year, featured the Bulls being in back-to-back situations. And the third one, the one a couple of weeks ago, was the real destruction. Otherwise, Joe, these games have been fairly close. Milwaukee didn't just take Chicago apart all 3 times. Third time they did, but the other 2. I think the 6.5 makes it hard on me. But I do think Milwaukee comes with some motivation. Listening to some voices here today, why does Milwaukee want to come out and play, with full motivation? But I think anytime Giannis is on the floor, he's playing with 100% motivation. They can't get to the number 1 spot in the East. If Miami wins tonight, Miami locks that. So they're still slightly alive for it. But if Miami can win any game from here on out, they'll have it. I think they come to play. I'm just not thrilled with 6.5. I guess I would side against the contrarian gods here because I don't want the Bulls without Zach LaVine.
All right. It is unanimous. You know what that means, Robert? Get that bet in on the Bulls here. The Bulls plus 6.5. That is your contrarian play of the day, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. And now we do have actually a game that is really, really interesting in the East with 2 teams, maybe 2 of the hottest teams right now, as we look at the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Toronto Raptors in this one. Opened up at 4, and guess what? It's still 4 here right now in many spots. We're also looking at a total of 226.5. Not a lot of crazy movement one way or the other in the marketplace, either side or total here. But what do you think here, Ski? I mean, Toronto has been playing fantastic right up until the point that the Heat, they melted down against the Heat. But Atlanta's been playing pretty good too. But, to your point here with Chicago, who the hell is Atlanta beat here, Ski? How you looking at this game?
Well, I get it. They both been playing well. I mean, Atlanta's won 5 games in a row. The one thing I'll say is, I think Atlanta's playing. This is kind of like how Atlanta went into the playoffs last year. Like, they weren't good in the beginning of the year. They picked it up in the middle. They picked it up a little bit later than they did last year this time. But we hear Trae Young talk about they want to make it to the playoffs. That's all they care about is the playoffs. They weren't really interested in the regular season. Here it is. They're making a push. They're playing well. Now you got them off 5 wins, getting points. I would be going with the team that's won 5 in a row. You know what I'm saying? They've been the better offensive rated team, the better rebounding team in the last 5 games. The Raptors are the number 1 defensive rated team in that span. But catching points, I have to take the Hawks.
He going to grab the points. He going to grab the Hawks. Now, I'm looking at this. It's not like there's 4 games to make up between Atlanta and the Raptors here, Tony Finn. So, in all likelihood, Atlanta's looking in the play-in game one way or the other. But having said that, Ski, this is where they're really starting to kick it up a notch here. What do you think about Atlanta and Toronto tonight?
Well, the Skis, I think you said it. I think you said that you kind of played into you led into Ski saying, his land of who have they beaten? Really, in truth, they've beaten in their last 5 games. They have beaten Golden State. They beat Indiana, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, and Brooklyn. However, in every single one of those games, who cares about Oklahoma City? Who cares about Indiana? But in the other 3 games, those teams were missing a key piece to their offense, should I say. And Toronto's been really good defensively. You mentioned that. If it wasn't for the Heat scoring 69 points, I think, wasn't it 69? I believe,
right
whatever it was,
yep.
In the second half, right? The second half of that last game, they probably would have won that as well, and they would be 12-2 straight up, 11-3 against the number, et cetera, et cetera. They're the second best team defensively over the last 2 weeks, according to cleanglass.com. 108.3 plus 8.5 net, pretty good stuff. And the Hawks are a hot and cold kind of team. I mean, this is a team that's averaged almost 120 per 100 possessions, but defensively they're soft. So I'm on the Raptors. If I'm in this game, I'm not quite certain yet because I could add this on. I'm on Toronto.
He's on Toronto. What do you think here, Vino? It's. I mean, the Raptors 11-3 straight up, 10-4 against the number here in their last 14. No slouches. It feels like a pretty good matchup for Toronto, but that 5-game winning streak has a lot of people looking at Atlanta. What do you think?
Yeah, well, let's start with where they are in the standings. It's meaningful to both, right? That win by Atlanta against Brooklyn over the weekend was huge for Atlanta and their opportunity to get into a play-in situation where they only have to win one game rather than two. They're sitting in that 7-8 game as we speak. I don't think they want to let that go. Toronto in a flat-footed tie with Chicago, who could very well lose tonight to Milwaukee, and then we could see Toronto as the 5 seed. I think that the season series doesn't really tell us much so far, guys. They played 3 times. Toronto's won 2 of the 3. Trae Young did not play in one of those Toronto wins. Otherwise, it's a February split between the two. Had a couple of high-scoring games when bodies were in there. 227, I think, and then there was I'm looking right here, I think there was a 239. So total-wise, maybe, but on the Atlanta side tonight, you've got Gallinari and Bogdanovich. Still, I think both listed as questionable. And I don't mind not having one where Atlanta's offense is concerned, but if you take them both away, Atlanta kind of starts losing offensive options and offensive firepower. So let's hope that if you're backing Atlanta, one of those guys goes. If you're backing total over, you certainly want one of those guys to go. OG Anunoby on the other side, he did not play in the game that they blew to Miami Saturday. We'll see if he gets to go here. But what I found most interesting about this, Joe, was the quotes. And I'm going to give you both coaches 2 really different quotes here. From Nate McMillan, he says, I think it's been the best basketball, our 5-game winning streak. It's been consistent basketball. We've established our defense. Offensively, we're getting ball movement. We're scoring the ball. Both groups are consistent. This is the team we expected. It's showing up at the right time. That's kind of the skis point where Trae Young was concerned. It's good to get into a rhythm this time of season. Take that into the next game. It's 5 wins in a row now for us. We seem to be playing with good rhythm. This one by Nick Nurse for Toronto is kind of, I don't know, maybe you guys can interpret it differently than me, but how about Nick Nurse saying this about his 5 starters? This is what he says. He says, it's been surprising how little they've been available. All year long, it feels like hardly any at all. I think we need to get them a little more organized and a little bit more connected. It sounds like a coach that, even though the team is playing well right now, sounds like a coach who's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to use the word disgusted, but not thrilled at all with his starting 5 and their unavailability, which OG Anunoby certainly fit into that on Saturday. He fits into that here. Generally speaking, we don't like Hawks on the road. I don't think there's any Hawks affected by COVID here that as they head into Toronto. That's a big thing nowadays. Make sure all your guys are vaccinated. So I think I would take Atlanta plus points. I think as long as I can get Bogdanovich or Gallinari, one or the other, I'd be on the Hawks.
4.5 now in a number of spots, too, as the money coming back here a little bit towards Toronto. Should be a good one, though. A game that has meaning to both teams. Now let's focus on a total in our overtime segment, and I'll give you 3 I'll give you 1 guess where we're going here tonight, guys, as the Brooklyn Nets and the Houston Rockets getting ready to do battle in Brooklyn. Now, listen, the side is its own craziness right now, but this total, 244.5, creeping up to 245. Does this land in 260? Does it ski? It kind of feels like simply an over or not situation, but is there any value to the under in your mind?
If there's value in the under, that's for you to decide, I guess. But I'm not playing an under in this type of game. No way. Rockets don't play defense. Maybe the number is too high, but I know Rockets defense is terrible. For like weeks at a time, I was consistently every single time I saw them on the schedule find a way to fade their defense, whether it's the opposing team's first half, team total, whatever, anything. Just fade the defense. And the Nets are no better. So the only way to look is to go over. What I ended up doing in this game, so the Nets, the last 2 weeks, they're allowing 118.5 points per game. In Houston, they're scoring a little bit under 117 points per game. So I like Houston team total over 113.5 is the direction I went. And if I had to play the full game, I would play it over.
All right, got to go up and over. Team total options as well. Not a bad way to look at it. What about it, Tony Finn? Simply over or not for you here with the Nets in Brooklyn? Nets and Rockets, rather?
I grew up on the border of Vino's favorite state in the Union, Missouri, the show me state. And when it comes to basketball, I am what you showed me lately. That's where I am with you. And I am not saying it's a one-game wonder kind of thing where they were horrible last game. Talking about over a period of 2 to 4 weeks. And it wasn't long ago, guys. I told our audience that the Nets were a blind bet on. If you remember, a blind bet on. The caveat to that, obviously, was that was when they were a road team and the vaccine rules in New York and et cetera, were still in effect. Kyrie wasn't playing at home. Now, whether you want to talk side spread, the side has something to do with this total. And 17.5 forces the books are forced when you're going to put a 17.5 out there. You're probably going to have a pretty good total, especially when you're dealing with Houston while they're hit and miss. Again, I can't play over 244, even as bad as Brooklyn has been defensively. They have a less than +1 net rating over the last 8 games, 2-6 against the spread, guys. But a lot of it has to do with they haven't been scoring enough, and that is the defense has allowed 115 and change per 100 possessions. The side I'm more interested in, it's my dog. I'm on the dog on this game, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. Who's my dog? But no, I'm not playing over. However, I'm whiskey again 2 times in one show. Stupid. I can't play under either.
I mean, Vino, we laugh. We go, 240. I mean, this could very easily land 260s. Without beating an eye. But I don't know. Maybe first half. Is there any under in this repertoire for you in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard, Joe, right? That's the odds maker's job now with these totals. I mean, just look at these numbers every day we wake up and then look at the push on some of these. I guess they opened this one correctly, figuring, well, at 244.5, we can get a little action both ways because this one really hasn't moved. The Nets, over 245, they've done that 6 times in their last 16 games. As good as they are offensively, as bad as they are defensively, still only 6 have climbed over 245. It shows you what a hurdle it is. But then again, Houston went out with Minnesota on Sunday, I think, and put up 271. That was like 139, 132. I mean, the Rockets, their last 4 games, their totals 251, 239, 239, and 243. So again, as bad as the Rockets have been, only one of those is over 245. It makes it tough to bet this thing. And to further that, you don't have Seth Curry, you don't have Goran Dragic, you've got Kevin Durant and Kyrie. So yeah, I get the point where defense is non-existent in this game, but to get to 245, it's so darn difficult. I think if you're looking, Ski's point about playing a team total, he chose Houston. I wouldn't argue anybody who chose Brooklyn either. Maybe you go that route, but I can't play full game as much as I would like to. I just think it's up there too high. It's in a pretty good place.
All right, it is up there, guys. Should be an entertaining game at that as the Nets and the Rockets get ready to do battle. All right, let's check it out. 12 games on the board, 12 dogs. Let's see them, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, well, we got a whole lot of them here tonight. We got the Magic, the Pacers, Rockets, we talked there, Hawks, the Hornets, the Wizards, shocker, the Bulls, the Blazers, the San Antonio Spurs, the Memphis Grizzlies are a dog tonight, as are the Sacramento Kings. And, oh, that must be a misprint. Does that say Lakers as a dog? I am shocked and appalled at the same time. Ski, talk to me, man. Which one of these dogs you looking to make your own tonight?
What an ass, this guy right here. My dog, it's one that doesn't make any sense to me, really. I get, like, as far as, they need to win, as far as, like, they are falling down the standings. But what the hell are the Jazz doing laying points right now? They're playing terrible. It's two teams going opposite directions. They've won one out of their last one game the last 2 weeks for the Utah Jazz. The Grizzlies have won every single game. The Grizzlies, without Ja Morant, they're 20-2 straight up. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup. They continue to chug right along. And Utah Jazz, they don't even like each other. I keep saying that all the time, but I see a stat. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, they share the floor every night, 30-plus minutes. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 2 passes to Rudy Gobert. He hates that dude. He's not going to be on the Utah Jazz next year. So give me the team who's playing better all year long, the team who's playing better right now, and give me the plus points. I think they went out right with the Grizzlies.
Oh, boom! We got an upset brewing here, and I love it. Talk to me here, Finn. Which one of these would you make your dog tonight? Oh, that's right, the Rockets.
Yeah, the Rockets. Believe it or not, the Rockets are my dogs tonight. And I'll keep this simple. We talked a little bit about the Houston, Brooklyn, and how the side matters, plus the 17.5 points, et cetera, et cetera. But this morning when I was preparing for the show, as little as I have to, because no matter what I say, Joe, you'll argue with me. But I look back. A little fairy dust. I sprinkled a little fairy dust on my numbers, and I looked at a game, and Robert knows the date. I don't remember the date. I don't have it, but mid-March. Okay, Brooklyn, 15-point favorites at home against a Portland team that had no. I mean, Hart did actually play in that game. He played 40 minutes, scored 25 points. He was the difference maker, really. His final score in that game was 123-128, which is 100. By the way, there's 151 points. Both these teams shot over 50% from the floor. In fact, my dogs, the Houston Rockets, plus 17.5. In that game, the Nets shot 58.4. This is their slash, 58.4, 40% from 3-point, 85% from the line. And they win by 5 points. Give me the Rockets plus 17.5. Even if the Nets get up, if they're up late, 4, 5, 6 minutes late in the game, they're going to pull everybody, sit them a lot of minutes ahead of them. At least they believe so in the playoffs.
Wow, we got a little support for the Houston Rockets here. Now Robert is clapping there. You just can't hear him, but it sounds something like this. There you go. All right, talk to me here, Vino. Which way are you looking at for a dog tonight? A lot of different possibilities here.
Yeah, I think, Ski referred to how Utah is playing bad. I feel like Denver's playing the same way. Maybe not as bad, but pretty darn bad. Yes. 5-10 against the spread last 15 games. Haven't played great competition recently, as in the last 4 games or so. San Antonio 6-1 against the spread last 7. Take that with a grain of salt because 3 of those ATS wins are against Portland, right? So let's narrow it down to like 3-1. But still, and I understand the DeJounte Murray injury forces this thing from 6 to 9, but maybe we're getting the benefit of the price here because although he's the best player on the team, San Antonio is made up of a bunch of interchangeable parts. Devin Vassell, Lonnie Walker, Josh Richardson, all these guys. Doug McDermott's been out for a while. That's not new news that he's out tonight. I feel like San Antonio has the ability to score at all times. They're making a push to get into the playoffs. If they win today and the Lakers lose to Phoenix, San Antonio, I think, is in. They'll be locked into one of those play-in positions. So it certainly has meaning for them. Denver, it has meaning for too. But I think if you size all those things up and they all negate each other, then I'll take 9 points. I really feel like unless San Antonio goes out there and lays bricks all night long from the field, that they can probably stay with the Denver team that defensively, we won't go through the numbers here and now, but the defensive numbers have been horrid put up by the Denver Nuggets. So I think 9 is probably a little bit of a bargain because it's shaded way too high for the absence of DeJounte Murray. So I'll take San Antonio plus 9 in a meaningful game for both, plus the 9 points at Denver tonight.
All right. But yeah, Denver just hot garbage. All right, guys, there you go. Today's dogs. You got them. Now it is time for some best bets. All right, let's do this here now. 12 games on the board here tonight. A lot of trash, not gonna lie, especially that last game there. But Ski, 60 seconds on the clock, my man. Why don't you talk to us? What's the best bet tonight? Which way you going?
Well, I did forget to mention. I also want to mention the Rockets cleared that team total 6 games in a row. So I think that's a pretty good bet in that game. I love my dog of the day. That really could honestly be the best bet. They're the more rested team. The Jazz also play again tomorrow, and they're terrible. But I've already given you that. I'll stay in the same game. We're gonna keep fading those Utah Jazz however we can. They're the 27th defensive rated team the last 5 games. As far as the Grizzlies, they're the number 1 first quarter team in the league. And it doesn't matter, like I said, who's in the lineup. It doesn't matter if they don't have John Morant. They average a little bit over 30 on the year. Without John Morant in 22 games, they averaged 31.5 first quarter points. They're being disrespected tonight. Versus Utah, you're giving them 27 first quarter team total. We're going up and over. I mean, if you've been following me, I've been talking about this consistently. Grizzlies, first quarter team total, over 27 tonight. Way too low.
Boom! Get her done. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Ski. That's what I'm talking about. All right, come on, Finn. You got it. 60 seconds on the clock. Tell us which way you going tonight.
There's the fairy dust. It's a winner. We're going to a player prop for the best bet. I've been kind of waiting for Trey Jones to have the ability, or at least have the opportunity, to show what kind of a translation he was going to morph, or at least exhibit from college into the NBA. And everybody who knows this guy was a 2-year Durham product. He was the one of the Fab Four, remember, that stayed after his freshman year, played his sophomore year, wins Defensive Player of the Year in ACC. Player of the Year. He is the Player of the Year. He's an excellent defender. He'll never be the primary scorer, but he's replacing Murray. And his numbers tonight, 23.5, over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's had 8 starts this year, and 6 of them have exceeded that. Tonight against Denver, right? He exceeds that. Over 23.5 points. Trey Jones, Duke product, great player.
Oh, look at Tony reaching in that bag of tricks, pulling some out, a little Duke. I like that. Outstanding. We're fading that. Come on, Vino, talk to us. Which way you going here tonight? 60 seconds on the
Losers.
Robert, the clock, Jesus.
Come on, Robbie.
Joe's still laughing.
It's running. Oh, there you go. Give it to him. There you go.
All right. Hey, I don't want the fairy dust. Oh, my God. Tony, you're affecting all of us, buddy.
That's good.
Hey, listen, I feel like we did this last week, right? I think I remember a game where it was like 47 ways to play the same exact game. And I'm in that mix with Memphis, Utah. Ski has found 2 ways to play it. I found an even different one. I'm playing first half over 111.5. I'll just use mathematics to support my case here. Numbers 111.5. Memphis on the road in their last 16 games on the road, 12 times they've scored 114, or they've totaled 114 or more in the first half. So right away, that's 2.5 points better than what we have to lay. On the other side of the coin, Utah, in their last 12 games, 9 times they've scored 59 points or more in the first half. So in a game where you need 56 per side, 59, 75% of the time over the last 12 is pretty good to me. Memphis knows from last year's playoffs that they can run and score on this team. I think that's what we'll see tonight. I thought 111.5 was too shy. Give it to me over.
Boom! Can't go wrong. Love that. Opportunities galore. Now he wants to buzz you, but that's okay here, guys. Let us not forget, 12 games on the board. Best bets from all three of these gentlemen, guys, are locked and loaded. But to recap, Ski Profit going to Grizz. They're 20-0 without Morant this year. What the hell are we doing here? 5.5 points. Take it, damn it. Also, the Grizz first quarter team total over 27. It is a classic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, damn it. Cash that ticket tonight. Well, Tony Finn, wow, the Houston Rockets. Give me the 17.5, he says, in his best bet. Trey Jones going over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists here tonight. And Rob Vino, well, he does like those Spurs, +9. Why is Denver laying 9 against anybody? They can't cover anything. But his best bet is going to be that first half over, 111.5. Memphis don't play a lot of first half unders, guys. They scored a lot of points against the Jazz, 111.5. Now, the contrarian gods, they're going to Chicago. They do not trust the Milwaukee Bucks laying this kind of number in on the road. So the Bulls 6.5 is where the contrarian gods are looking. And don't forget, though, guys, if you head over to WagerTalk.com right now, Ski, he told you, man, shooting's going to shoot, guys. 6 plays already locked, loaded, ready to go. Finn has his props ready to go as well as his plays tonight. And so does Vino. Best bets, guys. They are there. Go take advantage of it here on a Tuesday, the final week of the NBA regular season. And then the playoffs just around the corner. So still plenty of opportunity here to cash some tickets before these playoffs starts. Head over to WagerTalk.com and let's take advantage. And on behalf of Ski, Tony, Rob, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us here. Feel like we're just getting started here tonight. And actually this week, final regular season feels like it's a whole nother season coming up with the playoffs. But we'll be back again tomorrow doing it all over again. Guys, come back and join us. Until then, go grab those plays over at Wager Talk. Best of luck with them tonight, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
I love getting a good line and then still getting it up the ass. Grand salami under.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.